All right, Shalom. Call halal, Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you, brothers, pushing his word in truth and sincerity. All right, so I got an article right here from topwar.ru. Looks like this is a Russian source. Who knows? Top War. All right, this is dated December 16th. All right, because it's already tomorrow over there in Russia. All right, and we got the article titled Trump announced the imminent start of ground attacks in Latin America. Okay, so the Russians are watching. All right, the Russians, all right, which are another Edomite nation. Okay, they're at odds with the Babylonian Edomites. All right, you can see Donald Trump in the picture. It says U.S. President, who wrote this article? No particular author, but it says U.S. President Donald Trump announced the imminent commencement of ground attacks on targets in Latin America. According to the American president, these ground strikes will not only target Venezuela, but also the horrible people who are smuggling drugs and killing our citizens. Trump also clarified that the horrible people he mentioned are not necessarily located in Venezuela. The U.S. president also stated that the U.S. military has already intercepted 96% of drug trafficking arriving by sea, and now it's time to move on to cutting off land routes, which according to Trump is much easier to accomplish. According to the New York Times, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio views Venezuela as the key to overthrowing the Cuban government. The U.S. Secretary of State is convinced that Havana supports Venezuela, President Nicolas Maduro, by providing intelligence to Caracas. At the same time, Rubio believes that overthrowing Maduro would cut off Cuba's survival and destabilize the situation on the island of freedom. Meanwhile, it's becoming increasingly clear that Washington is consistently trying to knock out Russia's foreign partners. Iran, Syria, and now Venezuela. Yeah, because you just had in Syria the episode with the two United States soldiers and the interpreter, just roughly giving you a piece of that news. So he vowed retaliation in that area, okay, of the world, Syria, Iran from that 12-day war. And then we have now Venezuela, okay, which in recent decades has become the main link between Moscow and Latin American region. Trump's actions are intended to deprive Russia of its bargaining chips in the coming redistribution of spheres of geopolitical influence. For decades, the standoff between Russia and the United States, USSR, has maintained a certain balance conditioned by Kremlin's ability to project threats to Washington in various regions of the world. All right, so that's what you have, brewing, a geopolitical showdown between Russia and China. These are the little proxy wars, all right, which is leading up to the big major war. And I just want to bring out a few scriptures. I'm not going to make this too long. This is the first scripture I'm going to bring out. I'm going to go to Isaiah 33:1. All right, it says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled. All right, that's what Edom is doing. He's spoiling other nations. All right, it says, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Okay, so this is the nation that is dealing treacherously, spoiling nations. Okay, cutting off. Get that scripture real quick. It should be Habakkuk. Yeah, Habakkuk 2:10. This is Habakkuk 2 verse 10. All right, it says, thou hast consulting shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. Yeah, so this is what this devil, he does. All right, he's saying one thing, we're going to war to stop these drug cartels. Now that's the pretext, okay, but it's really about obtaining that access to oil in Venezuela, because Venezuela is known to have will be sitting on a lot of oil reserves that strategically is very important if you're going to wage a war, a world war against China and Russia. All right. I'll read it again. I started 9. It says, woe to him that covetous in evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. All right. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. Okay. So this devil, man, he's setting himself up for a great calamity. All right. We're just witnessing it. We're witnessing it. Now, got to consider that these are only the beginning of sorrows. All right. This is just the beginning. This is how it begins with these small wars, which is going to lead up to a war that they cannot get themselves out of. They're going to have a draft. All right. They're going to have a draft. Got to remember what Yahawah said. So we're just witnessing the beginning of sorrows. Okay. Matthew, I'm going to start at 7. Matthew 24:7, right? Start at 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. All right, this is a rumor of war that we're hearing. Another rumor of war, it can lead to a war. All right, wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. All right. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So the end is not yet. All right, we're still waiting on the main prophecy, the implementation of the MOTB. All right, them going into Iran, a major war with Iran. All right. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, which all of these are taking place now. It says all these are the beginning of sorrows. It's just the beginning. All right. Let the games begin. All right. So now this is a Russian article. According to them, they have intelligence, and they're writing these articles. They have a different perspective over there, how they cover the actions of Babylon. And then Babylon have what they're saying to their citizens to gain up support to get these Edomites to go along with sending their children over there to fight. But they first, before they start wars, they start with the air operations, and then when they put the ground forces in. But it's going to come a time where you're going to be dealing with heavy American casualties. It's going to be a time of sorrow. And then these things escalate, and they're going to get out of hand. Ultimately, if a war in this hemisphere, man, ultimately leading to more T attacks and the implementation of a surveillance state, because you're going to have it. You're conducting all of these wars. So I'm going to end the video here. Call Halal, Yahawah, BaHaSham, BaHaSham, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to you brothers pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Continue to watch as well as pray. All right. There's going to be some events and crises that's going to take place in this coming year, 2026, if not coming into the end of 2025. All right. Anything is possible. So watch and pray. Until the next video, shalom.